Hello, everyone. It is Saturday night. Welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. Let's see who's in my green room tonight. He is the geezer's geezer, the EastEnders Eastender. It's Danny Dyer, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Young Danny is here on the show. Alongside Danny, we have one of Hollywood's best-loved actresses, from Private Benjamin, First Wives Club, so many others. She's always a delight. It's the wonderful Goldie Hawn. Hello, Goldie. Our favourite Australian is in the building. Will you join me in saying good day, sport, to Mr. Peter Andre? Good day, Pete. And I'm super excited. Very few actors deserve the accolade which I'm about to give my next guest, but he truly does deserve it. Will you please welcome the big fella? It's Liam Neeson! Liam Neeson has a very special set of skills. He's been about here tonight. OK, and we have fabulous music from the sensational Pixie Lott, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, lovely Pixie. What a week it's been. I don't know if you saw this, but His Holiness Pope Francis made history this week when he appeared on the front cover of iconic rock magazine Rolling Stone. we haven't made it up. That's the cover, right? It's weird, isn't it? I didn't even know he had an album out. I mean, it's incredible. There he is. Look at those cheekbones, eh? He must have been airbrushed. I would have said touched up, but you don't want to go there. Now... the magazine describes the Pope as God's representative on Earth. Can you imagine how furious Bono must be when he read that? Actually, I'm not sure it's such a big deal, because he's not the first Catholic pensioner dressed in white that they've had on the cover. Because you see, this one beat him to it. Oh, yeah! Oh, suddenly everyone loves Madonna. A Californian... Oh, you're going to like this. A Californian teenager bought a blueberry muffin and was shocked to notice that it was the spitting image of her chihuahua, Chico. You don't believe me? Have a look at this. That's pretty good, isn't it? That's pretty good. Let's get my first guest out, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? I think we have to. If we leave him in there much longer, it might kick off. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. It's Danny Dyer. Danny Dyer, ladies and gentlemen. That's nice. Come here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Danny Dyer. Big man, good to have you here. Thank you for coming on.
Pleasure.
How exciting is it that Danny has joined EastEnders, ladies and gentlemen? That's such exciting news. Major mark already there. He's playing Mick Carter in EastEnders. Tell us his story. What's his story? What do we have to look forward to? And what are the kind of elements of his personality that made it attractive to you to play him?
He's the brother of Shirley, played by Linda Henry. And he's come in with his family. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do it is because he's a family man. He's not a gangster. I thought it was going to be obvious. I come in, run about with a shotgun.
Well, that's what you often get asked to do.
Tear up with Phil, last about 2 weeks, get blown up in the car, end off.
Yeah.
Where, you know, with this, I come in, I'm an alpha male, but I love my family and I'm very protective of them. And, you know, I just thought I should do something a bit pre-Watershed. Yeah. For once in my life, you know.
But the Queen Vic itself, what a great thing to be in charge of that particular ship. And I've always wondered, do they have real alcohol in there ever? Is there beer involved, or is it all apple juice and...
No, there's a couple of good pumps. Oh. The thing is, they try to put non-alcoholic beer in there, but it don't come out properly, so they change the pumps every week, but after a long day, you know, I'll slip over to the good pump, have half a lager.
Yeah.
Well, I don't take the piss, obviously, I don't want to get in trouble, but... and the weird thing is, behind the bar, there's nothing there, right? You've got to keep yourself busy constantly, but there's fuck all, there's no glasses. There's no...
That's called acting.
Well, I know that, I know. You know, listen, when there's 4 of you behind the bar, don't clap that. Make me off, man. Yeah. When it's 4 of you, you're all fighting over the tea towel or the...
There's one tea towel.
Or the glass thing, you know, or the, you know... It's a great job, though. I'm honoured to be part of it.
Well, here's the thing. You've had a bit of a rough deal, I think, because I know... when I saw you early in your career, and I'm sure many of you said I saw you in Human Traffic, you're in Prime Suspect. Terrific performances, great stuff. And I was saying this new actor, I know you'd been on stage working for Harold Pinter and other writers as well. And then you were in a bunch of movies where you seemed to get stereotyped, and some of them weren't the best movies made. I think we both agree there.
How fucking dare you?
Right? And so I think you got somewhat painted into a corner critically, and it wasn't necessarily
listen,
your
I think, look, it's a strange game we're in. You have good ones and you have bad ones, you know. As an actor, you spend so long being out of work that, you know, when you start getting a bit of a profile and you start doing well and you're getting scripts through the door, I said yes to fucking everything. I couldn't help it. I remember one year I did 8 films. I cannot remember one of them.
Wow. Well, unfortunately, I can. However...
you sort of have good runs, and, you know, I wish every film I made was a cult classic. Unfortunately, it can't be, you know. Yeah. You know, unless you're Liam.
Well, but I'm sure anyone looks back at their career and says, I wish I hadn't done that. I'm certainly,
no, I don't. Listen, I'm feeding my kids at the end of the day. I've always said that, you know, it is an art form, but for me, I'm paying bills, and that's... I love what I do, but it is basically a job.
A happy circumstance then you're in EastEnders, because along with Coronation Street, 2 very well-written soaps, 2 great kind of... And they're like, you know, they're important shows to most people in this country. I mean, it's an important
I didn't realise, actually, you know, I mean, I've had a bit of fame for a while, but since I've been in EastEnders, it's gone to another level. And I think this whole scene I had with my son and his coming out stuff...
Yeah.
You know, it had a real positive thing, you know, on you know, a lot of young gay men who hadn't come out yet. They saw that scene, and I was getting letters from, you know, from these guys saying that they came out the next day because of it. And I think that's a powerful thing, you know, and I was really proud to be associated with that.
I almost came out. I'm not even gay. I mean, it was, but no, it was, what was lovely was... What was great was the writing there, I thought, was clever and it was interesting, and I could see what attracted you, because the kind of cliched view of the world and of men like that would be that would be the parent that had a problem with his son being gay.
This is what it was. They spun it on the head for me because obviously of my perception and what people think, you know, what I'm about, that I was going to, you know, react badly, and instead I just cuddled him and said, listen, boy, it's fine. I love you. No problem. It's the old woman in it, played by Kelly Brights, who loses the plot.
Well, right? we have an exciting exclusive clip for you. This is from next Thursday's edition. It hasn't gone out yet. Have a look at this. This is Danny talking about it over with the old lady, the missus, the nightmare. Have a look at this. That's an impressive slice of modern drama, and it's a lovely thing to watch as well. You know, it's an important storyline they're dealing with there. Here's the exciting news in your life, I think, and I would imagine so. You had, just before joining EastEnders, you had another baby. You had a son.
Yeah, little Artie.
How exciting. How lovely. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
Isn't that lovely? A little boy.
And he's such a beautiful little thing. I just forgot how hard it is.
Oh, yeah.
He's graft, and we had him like 2 days before I started EastEnders.
Wow.
So, and I've been having a few tweets off people saying on EastEnders I look stoned. I look a bit out of me nut. It's because I'm shattered. Like literally, it's the heartbeat. You go home and it's like, you know, you've got the bubba there, and you know, got to change his little shitty arse and that, and he's got to burp him, you know, and sterilise bottles, and it's graft. I mean, I'm loving it. You know, I was due a son because I've got 2 daughters.
Yeah.
So I need a boy. I need a boy around there. So.
You do. You get ganged up on otherwise. It becomes unbullied at home.
No, just keep your mouth shut. Yeah. Don't get involved, do you? But my eldest is nearly 18. Got a 6-year-old daughter. But I've got me boy now.
Yeah, but that's quite a spread. 18, 6 and
I'll tell you what it is, changing his nappy, because obviously I only changed like girls' nappy. So as soon as you take his nappy off, right?
Yes. And a bit of air gets on it.
He pisses everywhere. Yeah. It's just like, honestly, I've never seen nothing like it. He pisses all in his own face and everything, you know. It's like a little Catherine wheel. It's like...
Well, you must have done that after a big night out on your own. I mean, we've all done it, Danny. But how lovely, as you mentioned your daughter's 18 and 6, so the 18-year-old, presumably she's seeing people, she's dating already, is she?
She's seeing people.
Well, I don't...
No, she's got a fella about her, yeah.
So when she started dating, how are you with that, Danny? Because I can't imagine you being the dad I would want to, as a boyfriend, come home to meet first time.
Yeah, it's hard work, to be fair, but you know what, I think I've rung the bell. He's a good kid and that, you know. It's just strange seeing him grow up, and you know, she loves him to death. She's obsessed with him. He winds me up, but...
Used to be daddy this and daddy that.
It could be worse. It could be worse. He's a good kid,
yeah.
And she loves him, and you know, he treats her well and all that. Listen, as long as he don't upset her, or as long as a tear doesn't drop from her eye, then he won't be walking with a severe limp for the rest of his life.
And I'm sure he knows this. He's
got a rough idea, I think. He's got a rough idea. But, you know, we got to do. They've got to live their lives. You know, I'm very protective of her. You know,
well, let me ask you something else. You had a period, and you spoke about this, I know. You had a period where your life was off the rails a bit. When you were a young man, you indulged yourself in most of the pleasures that were on offer. Okay, substances and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
When was the moment for you when you realised enough was enough, you had to stop, you had to grow up?
I was, when I was doing a play, I was doing a Pinter play, and it was on Broadway at the Lincoln Centre, and I'd never been to New York. I got too excited, and yeah, I overindulged, and I thought I could overindulge and go and walk out on stage and do a play, and of course it's just ridiculous, you know what I mean? I was banging trouble. I went out on the stage, didn't have a clue what to say, and you know, it'll never happen to me again, that, because I tell you, as actors, when you dry on stage, you never forget that moment. And you know, I needed it to happen. I needed something to happen, and all of a sudden I thought, wow, sort your life out, lively. You know, I had a great opportunity. I was a very lucky actor to be working with such people, and I nearly blew it just because I wanted to get off me nut, basically. And you know, it takes a serious moment like that for you to go, right, rein it in.
Stop it altogether.
Well, liven up.
I guess partly it would have been made all the worse, the fact that you were letting other people down on stage with you as well.
Well, that was it as well, and that was the worst thing for me, because I was on stage, and it was called Celebration, the play, and I come on, and it's all set in a restaurant. I'm the waiter, and I come on, and I'm meant to interject into a conversation, so I interject, and all the actors look round, and I ain't got a fucking clue what to say, and I can see the fear in their eyes.
Oh, man.
People like Lindsay Duncan, Leah Williams, Keith Allen. Even Keith Allen had the hump with me, so they're saying something. And Pinter, he was really lovely about it, but he did have the hump with me. You know.
Harold Pinter sort of took you under his wing a bit, didn't he? I mean,
yeah.
You know, and I think people were surprised, some when they hear about you and him being close, or him seeing something new, because, as I said, in the years when maybe your work wasn't of that level of quality, I think people were amazed. But obviously, he knew you had what it took, and that must have been an incredible endorsement for you, to know that he was on side.
Well, it's a beautiful thing. The thing for me was I never knew who he was. I didn't go to drama school, so I didn't study. I didn't realise how much of a legend he was. So when I went for the audition, all the other actors were shitting themselves. And I was just sitting there thinking, who the fucking hell was this geezer? And I loved the play, I loved the work, and I got it, and I walked in, and I walked straight up to him, and I said, how you doing, son? Sweet. And then the whole room going, oh, fucking hell. And he liked that, I think he respected that, and then we became really close.
Let me ask you about something I read about you, and I'm fascinated with this kind of thing. You say you saw a ghost. Is this true? You think you saw a ghost?
Yeah.
You saw a ghost?
Yeah, I see a monk.
You saw a monk, but was this... Don't
laugh. Don't laugh. Well, it was either a ghost or a monk. One of it's either weird anyway, isn't it?
This is what I was going to ask you. How do you know it wasn't a monk? Because there are still monks out there, but not as many ghosts.
Are there monks knocking about?
Yes, of course there are.
What, in Stratford?
Well,
No, listen, this is like, I used to do like graffiti on trains. It's muggy now, but and basically I was in Stratford Yard. I jumped over the big fence in this like a big long alleyway, one long big fence, one big wall. Me and my pal, and we was walking along. It was about 3 in the morning. We was, you know, thinking, oh, to see something coming towards us. I thought, fucking hell, we're going to get nicked. And as it got closer, it was a monk. It's fucking ridiculous, isn't it?
Was it a monk working for the London Transport Police?
It's clearly a monk. It's got monk written all over it.
Yeah.
It's got a big hood up and all that.
Yeah, the old hood.
And then it walked past.
It walked past?
Well, I'm saying it now because I realised as it went past, looked round, it was gone.
The monk had gone?
Right, so either it's jumped a massive wall.
Unlikely. In a monk's habit.
Or it was a ghost. Knocking about, 3 o'clock in the morning. I later found out there was a monastery round there.
Wow.
Done a bit of research on it. Freaked me out.
Well, of course you
would.
would.
I ran home and it's, you know, I was upset. I didn't know what to make of it all.
Could it have been the fumes from the aerosol
No,
cans?
it was. Listen, you can't explain it. Is it a ghost? I don't know. I don't think there's enough pictures of ghosts for me. No, people say they've seen them, but there ain't enough.
Not enough evidence, hard evidence.
There ain't this here. There's none, is there?
Well, that's why we don't believe in them, Danny.
So you think it's bollocks?
In the green room, let me ask you, have any of you seen ghosts?
I felt a ghost. Well, not physically.
You didn't feel him physically. How did you feel him? You mean like a presence?
Yes, I felt a presence, something different.
Wow.
I used to walk into homes, sometimes I could tell when they're haunted, because I'd get kind of dizzy and lightheaded.
But aren't you known for being dizzy and lightheaded, Goldie? I mean, wasn't that your whole thing?
It was a different kind of dizzy and lightheaded. More on that later.
Okay. Okay, well, that's good. Liam, any monks appeared in your life?
I have seen a ghost.
What?
Yeah.
When? What was it?
Me and my mate Donald, we were about 15. This was over in Ireland. There was a little bridge, it's called Maggie's Bridge, and we were walking back from this dance. It's about 4 o'clock in the morning, moors, heather, and I swear, I didn't drink, we were 15 or something like that. I saw Maggie's ghost moving across the bridge. Wow. Hand up to God. Wow.
Now, you know, here's the thing. We believe Liam.
Which is what I say.
I mean, we believe Liam. It's because you were mugging him off and everything, and I don't know why that is. Why is that? Why do we believe
Because
Liam more than
I'm telling
you?
you now, if Liam Neeson says there are ghosts, there are fucking ghosts in the world.
Now you'd have to be crazy to say there weren't.
Right.
Because Liam saw Maggie's.
Well, I'm feeling it, Liam, right? Listen, they're knocking about. The only bit
about that story I'm not sure I believe is that you weren't drinking when you were 15. Peter Andre. I don't know, Australia's a new country. They probably don't have ghosts.
No,
do they have ghosts in Australia?
We don't have those sorts of things. Although, I did see a wormhole. Now, I know it sounds bizarre. I'll explain. I definitely saw a UFO. Now, you're not going to believe me when I do this, because I'm not Liam Neeson, but I'm just saying...
You're not even Danny Dyer.
No.
I mean...
But I definitely saw a UFO.
Wow, no. Where was this? When was this?
Near where I live. And literally, it was the spiral. And, you know, you ever heard of the wormholes where they sort of, this object just pops out of it, and then it disappears into itself?
Peter,
yeah.
Peter, were you taking up the wormhole? This is a sensible question.
You know you remember that night, Jonathan.
One other thing, Danny, you also, am I right in thinking you've seen an alien as well? You believe you've seen an alien? Seriously, is this true? You've seen an alien? Was it an alien?
No, I have. Listen, I've done a documentary on it, didn't I? And I did see a ghost, yeah.
No, we've moved on from the ghost.
No, I did,
Hold
I did.
Was it the ghost of an alien?
It was an alien. It was an alien in someone's kitchen. Let's not go into it now. It was in a geezer's kitchen, yeah. He was getting abducted and all that, and he set a camera up in his house and he showed me the footage, and it was a fucking alien. It was.
What?
I saw it.
But how do you know it wasn't just a child with a mask on?
Because it had a massive nut. It had a massive nut and massive eyes.
Well, that's conclusive proof if ever we needed it.
Well, it was like a CGI, and the geezer's got loads of dough, and he wasn't. He was a skimp boat. I went round his gaff, remember? It was a shithole, right? So
I only understood half that sentence.
Oh, okay.
It was a skimp boat. You went round his shithole gaff.
Yeah. Basically, didn't have much money. His house wasn't very nice, right? So for him to spend 300 grand on CGI on this big nut...
Do you think the alien was thinking of coming in, saw it was a shit gaff with the skim boat, and said, I'm not going to adapt you, I want someone with a...
That's right.
And went off?
Well, he screamed. He screams when he sees it, so it might have frightened him off. The alien went, had a pipe, had a frown. He screamed. He thought, fuck that, I can't be bothered with that. Jumped back in his ship, done the slips through the long grass.
We got it. That's it. That's what happened. That's what happened. Don't believe otherwise. That's how to deal with an alien. Scream at him. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the new king of the Queen Vic, Mr. Danny Dyer. Great interview. Danny Dyer, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go away. Still to come on the show, we've got Goldie Hawn, Peter Andre, Liam Neeson and music from Pixie Lott. See you in a couple of minutes.